This is the third part of a series on the 7 deadly sins. Pride has culturally been seen as a part of our good character. We are told as children to take pride in ourselves and our work, and to take pride in our families and our country. Because we are created in God's image, and God certainly takes pride in His creation, we are also programmed with a sense of pride similar to God's. Pride is something that every one of us struggles with to different degrees, and it is an enormous monkey wrench thrown into our relationship with other people and especially with God. And next to faith, it seems to be the next most popular subject addressed in the Bible. Let's pick apart the subject and try to understand why God really, really hates pride. I can easily name a few people that I see as being annoyingly proud on the surface. They constantly brag about themselves, and every conversation they have with others has to be focused on them. Or there are those who think that they've got it going on, whether it be they think they're intelligent, or their looks and accomplishments are better than others, or their bank accounts. It is obvious to most people around them that they think they're a little bit better, a little more superior to everybody else. And then there are those who are constantly complaining how they deserve this and that, and they should be entitled to job promotions or rewards or special treatment or what have you. So I think we all know what pride looks like, right? Proud people are usually pretty obvious. Pride is something that I personally have been wrestling with my entire life. I'm going to tell you my story and hope that maybe we can all get a grip on the ugliness of pride through it. And as a kid, I thought I had many gifts and abilities above and beyond other kids, and I'm pretty sure I bragged about it. Because of that, there was, some conflict between myself and other kids at times. And as a teenager, this attitude kind of continued into adulthood. The attitude that I was a little smarter, a little more talented than most people. And as an adult, I learned to hide it to some degree, to be more socially accepted and liked. But, I stand before you today to tell you I haven't fooled God one bit. So the other day, I was flipping through the channels and paused on a cable access channel where some local church services was being televised. And there wasn't much else on, so I figured, what the heck, I'll see what this preacher has to say. I didn't find anything real profound in the sermon, partially because, because of my pride, I'm constantly picking apart the validity of other preachers' sermons and, kind of arguing with them in my head. But then the preacher kind of stuttered out one sentence that has been absolutely life-changing to me this past week. Satan wants to be worshipped. And, I actually argued in my head with the preacher. I said, that's not really right. Satan doesn't care if he's worshipped or not. He just wants to tear us away from God and see us destroyed. Which, if that were to happen, he'd have no one to worship him. And then it dawned on me. I have completely misunderstood the word worship. I have connected worship with singing and praise and bowing down before God in church and all that for so long that I have failed to really understand its meaning. Worship is placing someone or something on a pedestal, elevating them and revering them above all others, acknowledging their greatness, and believing them to be superior. Superior. This was Satan's deadly pride, feeling he was superior to God. Then God blindsided me with this understanding. We all want to be worshipped, and that is the essence of sinful pride. And, I said, wait a minute, God, only people who want attention and want to be powerful, like entertainers or political leaders or whatever, really want to be worshipped. I really don't even, like the attention myself much anymore. And then God showed me the tabloids in my head. I saw like the Star and the National Enquirer, and he said to me at that time, you wanted to be great and famous, years ago, and you want to be liked and respected by everyone now. If you, meaning me, if I had been famous but shown in a tabloid unfavorably as a joke, would that be cool? So, basically what God was saying is, if you'd made it to being famous and then some tabloid came and trashed me, would I still think famous was so fame and fortune were so awesome? And I realized that to be famous but not well liked, or to not be worshipped by fans, was not a desirable thing for me. It's okay if I were famous and nobody worshipped me or I had no fans. Um, it was that understanding that I finally got it. Sinful pride, the kind of pride that God hates, is a desire to be worshipped by others. Whether, it's a strong desire that's, blatantly obvious in some people or deceptively subtle. One that we may not even recognize in ourselves. God showed me that, my struggle of perfection is pride. My need for perfection is a subtle desire of my own for others to be unable to find fault in anything I do, which in my head would then lead others to see how I am superior to anyone who would compete with me in comparison. Superior. Uh-oh, that sounds a whole lot like wanting to be worshipped, doesn't it? How freaking messed up is that? And, remember the TV preacher's sentence, Satan wants to be worshipped. And as we all know, God tossed Satan out of heaven because of this. And this is the true nature of the kind of pride God hates, which Satan is the poster child of. Jesus slammed the Pharisees for this kind of pride. They thought themselves to be superior to others in their knowledge, wisdom, and wealth. And Jesus commented on how they probably walked around and enjoyed a little too much how the people looked up to them. And there are an astonishing number of examples and verses about the ugliness of pride all over in the Bible. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you know that I am now going to flip the coin on this message. So, does this mean we are all supposed to walk around like drippy wet rags with no self-realized value or reverence of ourselves? Okay, everybody, all together now? Hell no! We should all be feeling godly pride in ourselves. Godly pride is happiness and contentment in ourselves that comes from God and not by impressing people. God's nod of approval because He made us and is proud of what He has created. This is godly pride. What's the old saying? I'm okay, you're okay, God doesn't make junk. So, because of this, we should all have pride in ourselves and work hard in life to, be all that God made each of us to be. To strive each day to please God with a loving, faithful heart rather than impressing people. Now that is something to really be proud of. So, that's kind of the short message for today. Pride is a very profound subject, and I'm sure we're going to come back to it later on, in the year. So, think about that to start off, and God bless you. We'll catch up with you next time.